What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 10th day of August, and here we are with about 8 hours, 36 minutes left in this day. In this week, it is the end of the week. It is Sunday. Here we are at $3.20. I was not able to make videos yesterday, but I'm here today, and it's nice to see that we're basically at the same exact price that we were the day before. A little bit lower with that, in mind, but still sitting on top of this nice little pump that you had here a few days ago, 11% to the upside. Moving down a little bit, moving up a lot a bit. The bulls are clearly in control, not the bears here. And I think you are in the midst of this bull flag breakout, right? You had a nice flag kind of shape. You're breaking out, and you're just chilling before you continue higher. Very much, I believe you will continue higher. You're probably going to see new all-time highs here any day now, any week now. I'm surprised that you're even stopping right now, knowing how XRP moves. Let's look at this, though, with some volume on it. Might tell us in more detail what's going on here. Let us see. Good bit of volume at the top there. Not a whole lot of volume, about average volume on that move, so it makes sense why it didn't continue, honestly, right? Whenever you started this move here, you had some above average volume coming in, and it built as you went higher, where here it built, I guess, on that day a little bit compared to the days before, but it was about average, and then it didn't build after that, so you stopped. If we're looking at this on a 1 hour time frame, nope, that's a 2 hour time frame. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. Hi Mufasa, dude. I'm telling you, day or night, it's just XRP. Mufasa likes XRP. He likes a few different ones though. He's actually been coming out now for a few different videos, but he didn't come out today until the XRP video. High. Do I want to do this high to low? I'm not convinced yet that that's the low, right? We could go lower. I think I wanted to do this low to high, actually, is what I wanted. Low here, high here. Ooh, come on now. Come on, low to high. Okay, so we probably do go lower. Not always do we need to go lower in this situation, but typically if you find support at the 236, you come up, you find resistance at the 069, or even without coming back up here to find resistance in this zone, if you just break below the 236, typically you do go to the 382. So yes, you had a very bullish engulfing candle on the last hour, but you probably go lower, and that's okay. You probably do go lower. So I wouldn't be surprised, here at $3.19, if we see prices at $3.11 and below, you might find support right at that line, just like that. And typically with the 382, what I would expect is that you do wick a little bit below it. How much is a little bit? I mean, it's at 311.50, so $3.11, 0.5. If we were to wick a little bit below it, it could be 1 cent lower. It could be 3 cents lower, 4 cents lower. I don't know. It could be a little bit lower than that. But I would expect then that you wick and then you close above the 382. If you don't close above the 382 and you close below it, that could be a sign that you are in fact going to go down to the golden ratio, or the golden ratio at some point, down to 296 to 291. Prices below $3 are still on the table. They're still possible. Do not hold your breath over them, though, right? Here we are at 320 right now. There's no guarantee that we'll get down to that sub $3 area. But if we do, count yourself fortunate, because that'll probably be the last time in history that XRP ever does that. This very well could have been it. But looking at it now, $3.20, moving down with a little added volume coming in. Yeah, you can see here, relative to this consolidation phase right here, you were dying off in volume. It looks like you broke out, you picked up some volume, and you chose you chose the downside. Hold on. So I would think then that yes, you probably do go lower. That's my expectation at the moment. You probably do go lower. The lowest I would give you, though, again, 291, 296. I doubt you go lower than that. That would really depend on Bitcoin. It'd really depend on Bitcoin, I suppose. If Bitcoin goes lower than what my expectations are, XRP would go lower. But at this point in time, something between $3.11 to $2.91, that has to be where you go. Okay. And I would genuinely think we go below 311, just a little bit below. But just because you go below 311 doesn't mean, oh, we're going all the way down here. You could stop anywhere along the way. XRP likes to find support that's 0.52. It's fine. 0.5 as well. I can't say 2, because if I say 2, TOO, it sounds like 2, TWO. So I have to say 0.5 as well. Talking about numbers, that's good etiquette. Proper etiquette, right? We're all about that good etiquette. Interesting. I wonder where this low, you've got this look. Anybody see what it is? Potentially. No, the volume profile isn't right. And it's kind of a weird one. And maybe it's an inverse head and shoulders. A slanted inverse head and shoulders. And if it were slanted, you'd typically want parallel lines running. I'm just going to connect it to that low. It's near parallel, so that's good enough in my opinion. If you go a little bit below that line, it's fine. What if this interacts properly with the golden ratio? Wouldn't that be perfect? It doesn't. Oh, it's right below the 382 though. That's still pretty perfect. It could be an inverse head and shoulders. The volume profile is all wrong though. That stands out a little bit to me, making me think that it's not what we're looking for. But high to low. Nonetheless, I'm assuming that you are in a bullish formation, right? Broke out of this consolidation phase looking like you want to go up. Now we're on a bigger time frame right here. On the 1 hour, we had this consolidation phase. You had some volume pickup on the breakout to the downside. Here on this 4 hour, here's your consolidation phase. Volume died off, and you had volume pickup as you broke out to the upside. Just one breakout attempt and then you're done. I doubt it, right? If you did that, you'd probably have less volume. You'd have more volume coming into the downside, and we don't have. It's totally opposite of that. So I would think that we do continue up. Looking at it here, golden ratio resistance to the 0.5, you're actually at an area where you'd expect to find support. But with that being said, this is the third 4-hour candle in a row that you've been at the 0.5. You got 30 minutes left here. The support zone's not really supporting, right? It's more like holding you up to the downside. So holding you up before you go lower. So my assumption here would be that you're not done yet. You could go as low as 382, which is at $3. Okay, so $3.05. That ups the chances a lot that you do not go below $3. But sometimes, and oftentimes enough even, you do wick below the 382, even if you're looking to find support in this area. So it is possible still, but at this point in time, I'm more under the idea that XRP does hold prices above $3. So maybe $3.03 at the lowest, $3.05, something just below $3.11 like we were talking about, but nothing too absurd, nothing too crazy there. Okay, a little bit lower is all I'm saying. Looking at the indicators, RSI is breaking out of its uptrend. You might do something which is pretty common. You might come up, back test the overbought zone and show that you really are in an area of resistance, maybe even forming a head and shoulders pattern on your RSI, which does happen actually. Looking at it here, a move like that could get you set up for a higher price. It just disagrees with what I see on the 1 hour time frame. I can't see you going back up from here. It's not that I can't, like it could happen. But again, if you were to find support here and move up, you probably would have done it over the past 12 hours that you've been in this range already. So just getting oversold. We're going to stick with the idea that you move down. Probably no bounce here. Even though it wouldn't be crazy on the RSI to bounce here, everything else is suggesting that we go lower. So we're going to stick with the idea that you go lower. Something around $3, $3.11. You're at $3.19 now. Nothing scary, man. Nothing scary. If you go below $3, that will be scary to some people. It's really just a prime opportunity to buy. So don't forget that, okay? Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Absolutely, XRP, you are still on your way to phenomenal prices, all the way up to $11, $13, $16, $17, whatever. Something in this zone here. Maybe even move that box if I could shave it, something like this. Take out that this part doesn't exist. Okay, so it's just this box here. You're going there, and I would think it's going to be sometime by the end of September. If anything, and I'm wrong about that, it would only be because one of two things: either you're up higher, or more likely it takes longer. Maybe it's not by the end of September. Maybe it stretches into October, right? But I have a hard time wrapping my head around that, only because XRP, when it does break out, whenever it does make moves, I mean, we can go back through its whole history. This thing moves at a very fast pace whenever it breaks out. This is not its whole history actually, but if you did go back through its whole history, it only moves at a fast pace when it breaks out. When it's consolidating, not so much, but we're definitely in that breakout phase. So I would think by the end of September we have some serious results. But I've got nothing else. Thank you all. Take care. Hit the like button, subscribe. Bye bye.